This is probably the most requested video. I don't know how many times learners have asked me to record videos answering pedigree diagrams. So this, guys, is for you. Hello everyone, my name is Asisipho Mbingeleli and welcome to my YouTube channel. Remember guys, if you have not subscribed, please kindly hit that subscribe button, like the video, share the link with your friends, your schoolmates, your classmates, and also please comment down below. Now, this is very easy to understand, but I know other learners find it a little bit difficult to figure everything out. I will give you tips in the video on how to answer pedigree diagrams, but this does need a little bit of practice, right? You can't just do one or two activities and think you're the master of pedigree diagrams. You do need to do a few of them before you can feel confident enough to take any other questions or even feel ready to answer a pedigree diagram in an exam. So let us look at this. The information given, guys, is very important because it tells you what the pedigree diagram is about and the information about the alleles. Is it a sex-linked one? Is it an autosomal dominant one? Is it an autosomal recessive one? So if we're talking about any conditions here and everything, so it gives you the information. So this pedigree diagram below shows the inheritance of hemophilia. So this is a very common disorder and a common disorder basically in pedigree diagram questions, even if you check previous question papers. Now, the important information is this one. This particular disorder is caused by a recessive allele. So they do tell you, right? So the allele causing hemophilia is represented by this allele. So they're giving it to you. So if it's represented by this allele, meaning it's carried on the X chromosome, and it is controlled by a recessive allele, hence the small letter for the H. And the normal allele is controlled or represented by, obviously carried in the X chromosome, but the normal allele in this case is dominant, hence the capital letter H. Now, this information is very important because if you understand that information, you should be able to answer everything in this question. Now, in this pedigree diagram, you are given the individuals in this family, and a key is also very important. Now, you are given a key here, and it's very common. It's always been like this, but you have to read and understand the key. For with the square representation here in this pedigree diagram, a square is for the male, but now a square can either be shaded or non-shaded, right? So for any individual with a square that is not shaded, it's actually a normal male. So that means this male does not have hemophilia. Then square that is shaded means this is actually a male, but this male has hemophilia, right? Then in terms of females, normally represented by circles, same applies. Non-shaded or not shaded is a normal female, and a hemophilic female is shaded, a circle that is shaded. Now, when you are given this information that makes it obvious for you, my number one tip: use the information that you are given to try and get or write down the possible genotypes for both male and female, whether affected or not affected, right? So what we know is that these alleles are carried by the X chromosome and not necessarily the Y chromosome. So if we're to come here to the key, and I'm going to change my color. For a normal male, the chromosomes for a male is X and Y, right? And a male that is normal will need to be carrying the capital letter H because this particular condition is controlled by the recessive allele. So a male that has hemophilia, the X notation will be the small letter. So that means we already have the genotype for a normal male and the genotype for hemophilic male, because the hemophilic male, the X chromosome, will be carrying the small letter H notation. Clear, right? So you write this down. Then a normal female. There's two possible genotypes. It can be a homozygous dominant female or a heterozygous female. So with the female genotypes, it's capital letter X, capital letter X, sorry. So a normal female can be both X carrying a normal allele, or this female may be heterozygous, meaning the X, one X chromosome will carry the normal allele and another X chromosome will carry a recessive allele. This female is still considered is still considered normal, does not have hemophilia, even though they are having an allele for hemophilia. They're considered a carrier. Okay, then a hemophilic female, there's only one possible genotype, so that will be X small letter H, X small letter H notation. So this information sort of guides you. You can even go to a point of actually writing down the obvious genotypes for each and every individual here. I think if you're still struggling with pedigree diagrams, you can actually do that. The obvious ones. You can start with the males, because the males one, there's only one possible genotype for either a normal male or a male with hemophilia. So for example, if we were to look at individual one is a normal male. So that means there's only one possible genotype. That means the genotype for this individual is X capital letter HY. Same with this one, X capital letter H1, Y, X capital letter HY, X capital letter HY is another one, X capital letter HY. Remember I said this is for people that are still struggling with pedigree diagrams. Then is there another one? No. Then for hemophilic male, so all hemophilic males there, X small letter HY, X small letter HY, X small letter HY, X small letter HY. So that's the information that is obvious for us. Another information that is obvious, all the other information, guys, in terms of the genotype will be obvious. The only one that might not be obvious is a normal female, because there's two options. Hemophilic female is also obvious because it will be X small letter H, X small letter H. Yeah. This one we can argue and say it's obvious, but let me go to the questions. Now, determine the phenotype of individual 4. This, I know learners confuse. When it comes to pedigree diagrams, guys, read this word twice. Twice to understand if they are asking you for a phenotype or a genotype. Some learners mess it up. So they will read genotype but end up writing the phenotype, and you're going to lose a mark. Now, the phenotype of individual 4, this is a giveaway mark. Where is individual 4? There is individual 4. Then you match it with the key, guys. Go match it with the key. There is the key. This one is a normal female. That's it. You get your 1 mark. Like that. Just like that. Then, for 2 marks, give the genotype of individual 2. Give the genotype of individual 2. How do you get the genotype? Now, you get the genotype by using the information of the male or the father in this case, because this is a relationship line, right? Judging by the generations here, this would be the grandfather, this would be the grandmother. So I'm going to use a different color, guys. So we already have the genotype for the father, and now we have the 2 possible genotypes of this particular female, right? Another thing, okay, there's 2 ways to do this, right? What we are basically having, we are going to use the information from this particular male and also the sibling line. So what we are seeing here is that these 2 parents are having 4 offsprings. From the 4 offsprings, 2 are not affected. 2 are normal kids. It's normal male, normal female, and these 2 are hemophilic male. Now, with the genotype that we have here already, is that the X chromosome is carrying the hemophilic allele, the recessive allele, and this one also is carrying the recessive allele. How do we know that? Because they've said that these 2 males are hemophilic. Now, when we look at inheritance, a male will inherit obviously either an X chromosome or a Y chromosome from the father, right? And only the X chromosome from From the mother, yeah, I'm correct, from the mother. Now, in this particular case, without even looking at a lot of things, this male is not hemophilic. So it's not possible that these offsprings inherited this X chromosome with the normal allele, because they will not have anything to do with the Y chromosome, because the Y chromosome doesn't carry the allele. So this tells us that the mother definitely needs to have the X small letter H chromosome, because these two males inherited the Y chromosome from the father. Okay, but that is obvious. If you're a male, you inherited the Y chromosome from the father and not the X. The X you would have inherited from the mother. So that means both of them inherited the X small letter H chromosome from the mother. But now what we already know about the mother is that the mother is a normal female. A normal female with a hemophilic allele. So that means they are heterozygous. Therefore, it will be X capital letter H, X small letter H. Let me write it nicely. It will be X capital letter H, X small letter H. Okay. Now, this is also obvious. You can analyze it by even using these ones to say, okay, this is a normal male that would have inherited Y chromosome. Yes, you can analyze it like this. So this is a normal male. Definitely, if you're a male, the Y chromosome you inherited from your father, then that means they inherited this X chromosome with the normal allele from the mother. There is that allele. All right, then you can also use this information about, actually, I think these ones are the giveaway. You use the affected males. Shoo, I think, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we got it. They are heterozygous. So explain why females have a smaller chance of suffering from hemophilia for 3 marks. This is a very common question, guys. Super common. So what we do know is that hemophilia is caused by a recessive allele that is carried on the X chromosomes. And for females, guys, females have 2 X chromosomes and males only have 1. So females must inherit 2 copies of the recessive allele. So in order for them to be hemophilic, they need to inherit 2 copies. Unlike males, where males need to inherit only 1 copy of the recessive allele in order for them to be hemophilic. That is the answer. So, hemophilia is caused by a recessive allele carried, I'm running out of space, carried on the X chromosome. Carried on the X chromosome. Females have 2 X chromosomes. Females have 2 X chromosomes. Males have 1 X chromosome. Females, remember we're talking about females. Females must inherit 2 copies of the recessive allele. Females must inherit 2 copies of the recessive allele in order to be hemophilic. Whereas for males, if they inherit 1 recessive allele, they obviously have hemophilia. So there's a smaller chance. Males, you inherit 1 allele, done. You have hemophilia. Then for females, they would need to inherit 2. Oh, there's a cross. Represent the genetic cross to show the percentage chance of individuals 13 and 14 having a hemophilic son. 13 and 14. There is 13 and there is 14. Let's see what we have. We have the genotype for 13. Let's find out the genotype for 12. Is it 12 or 13 or 13 and 14? Sorry, 13 and 14. 13 and 14. We do have their genotypes. Remember, we wrote them at the beginning. Symbol, 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 stuff. Okay, so we're going to do a cross. P1 phenotype. 13 and 14, let's see. I think it's a normal male. Normal male, hemophiliac female. Normal male, hemophiliac female. Then the genotype. We already figured the genotype. So normal male will be X capital letter Y. Then hemophiliac female, X small letter H, X small letter H. Then meiosis will take place, X capital letter H, Y. X small letter H, X small letter H. And these are gametes. Then we have fertilization. You can do your cross or a Punnett square. It's up to you. I'm just going to do a Punnett square quickly. Gametes for parent 1 on top. Gametes for parent 2 at the bottom. Okay, then X capital letter H, X small letter H, X capital letter H, X small letter H, X small letter H, Y, X small letter H, Y. All right. Then we get our F1 genotype. Genotype that we have, it's 2 of X capital letter H, X small letter H, and 2 of X small letter H, 1. Y. What are they looking for? We're not done anyways. Let's do our phenotype. Phenotype 2 normal female, 2 hemophiliac male. I'm just double checking. Yeah. Let's see. Percentage chance of individuals 3 and 4 having a hemophilic son. Percentage chance will be 50%. All right. How will this be marked? For 7 marks. It's normally 6 marks, but anyways, 50% will get the compulsory mark. Actually, you need to write it in full. 50% chance of them having a hemophilic son. Then a mark for P1, F1, a mark for meiosis, gametes, fertilization, a mark for correct alles.